once again to put it to the Government, and in very clear terms, as I did last evening, exactly what it is they neglected to do in last month's budget. Waiting list figures have, in the area of disability services for children, been unacceptably high for quite some time. There was an opportunity in Budget 2020 to begin the process of clearing them. There are serious delays for children waiting to access physiotherapy, occupational therapy and psychological treatments. I submitted a parliamentary question in June of this year asking what the statewide figure is for children waiting for psychological treatment in line with the provisions of the Disability Act 2005. 7,275 children is the figure, Minister, and it is shocking. What is more shocking is that, knowing this, you have brought forward no new initiative and that no new impetus was contained in Budget 2020 to address this shameful fact. These figures mask the frustration of parents, teachers and others who know well that a professional intervention is needed on behalf of a child who sadly now must wait. We want to see these lists cleared as soon as possible, mindful of the damage that can be inflicted on the development of young people who are clearly in need of various assessments and treatments and who are denied that essential early intervention. My colleague Louise O'Reilly TD tabled a parliamentary question hinting at a possible solution that the National Treatment Purchase Fund could be used to seek treatment outside existing public HSE structures to clear the backlog on psychological assessments. She was given a disappointingly terse response that sums up the Government's attitude to these disgracefully large waiting list figures, and I quote, "As psychological assessments and CAMS services are not inpatient, day case or outpatient waiting lists within an acute hospital setting, they do not meet current NTPF criteria." This seems to be totally at odds with the response I received to my already mentioned parliamentary question. In that response, the National Director of Community Operations at the HSE said, and I quote, "The HSE is fully committed to working in partnership with service providers to achieve maximum benefits for children with complex needs and aims to ensure that resources available are used in the most effective manner possible." Unquote. Fully committed is the reply. So where is this happening? The facts are that 7,461 children are waiting more than 52 weeks for their first-time occupational therapy assessment, and 7,444 children are waiting for physiotherapy assessment. We know well that treatment that is delayed, especially in childhood, can have a devastating impact, sometimes with permanent consequences. The delays in the approval and now in the dispensing of Spinraza is seriously limiting the ability of those children with SMA to reach their full potential. So, Minister, you know the figures. You have supplied them to me and to my colleagues. There are many ways to go about reducing and finally clearing these shameful waiting lists. I hope to hear that the Government is to examine some new mechanism, some new means of addressing this scandal. Sinn Féin remains utterly frustrated by the slow rate of progress towards the delivery of the rights contained within the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And I'd ask you to note this particular point very well, Minister. Similarly, we believe the optional protocol should be ratified without delay. The argument that all legislation must be brought up to speed before it is ratified does not stand up. We need, and I have said this to you, even in this week, we need the report on final stages of the Disability Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2016 to be brought before this Dáil. And let me put on the record, and I challenge any contradiction, committee stage has concluded. Finally, I would also remind you that the Dáil passed a Sinn Féin motion in April of this year calling for the establishment of an all-party Dáil committee that would spearhead the production of an autism, spearhead the putting in place, the production, certainly, of an autism empowerment strategy, and within a specified time frame of 6 months. I want to ask what steps have been taken to implement that express wish of this Dáil. Caoimhghín.